What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news and updates. This is pretty much our Wednesday tradition, isn't it? And in this one we get a whole bunch of updates from Bungie actually. They talk about a few things related to the current event, Festival of the Lost, but also some delayed bundles. They cover some bugs and glitches, plus they clarify a little bit of information about upcoming exotic armor changes for Season 23. Plus we get additional news about future season changes, weapons that'll be leaving the loot pool, a new weapon hot swapping glitch, and a bunch of other things which we'll round up in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one today, and if you do, hit that subscribe button and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content. But without further delay, let's get into it. And so firstly, some updates from Bungie here which are worth touching on. For Festival of the Lost, they point out that additional festival mementos are now dropping from Eerie Engrams. Plus they say that the Heads Will Roll event challenge can now be completed in both normal and Legend Haunted sectors. Although there have been a few reports of folks still struggling with that one, so let us know your experiences with it down below. And on a separate note, Bungie Help have also said we're currently investigating an issue with this month's Prime Gaming drop, and we'll be delaying the drop until we have a fix deployed. The items from the drop being available in Eververse is not intended, and they'll be removed before the end of Festival of the Lost. If you're a Prime member, you'll be able to collect these items once the drop goes live. So for any folks wondering about that one, there's a bit of a delay there, but hopefully it'll be sorted soon. Bungie have also clarified that with the release we had last week, the patch resolved an issue preventing the distribution of a Broken Throne emblem, which was the Day 1 Crota's End emblem, and qualifying players should now be able to claim the associated raid triumphs and unlock the emblem to their account. So good that that one finally got fixed a few days ago, although it did take quite a long time considering it's just an emblem drop, and Crota's End of course came out quite a few weeks back. Hopefully though, there'll be no further issues for players who have unlocked it. Moving on though, we covered from the patch last week that a bunch of exotic armor perks have been updated, and the descriptions were reflecting new functionality that they'll get in Season 23, although that functionality isn't actually live in the game at the moment. So it was essentially a sort of leaked preview of what the perks will be doing next season that dropped with the patch last week, and Bungie have said some exotic armor changes coming in Season 23 were shown a little earlier than anticipated, and we wanted to take a moment to clarify some things. So they've said that what's been shown isn't the full scope of the armor and tuning changes coming next season. The unintended preview is a small part of larger tweaks on the way for all classes that we're excited to share soon. So that's the first takeaway. There are going to be more changes. I'm not sure whether that refers to additional updates to the exotic armors that had their descriptions updated, or whether it simply means that the list will be more significant than the ones we currently know about. And they go on to say while the descriptions of some of the exotic armor are updated, it's important to remember that they will continue to function as they did prior to the launch of the patch last week. That is with the exception of younger Hamkara's spine and Antaeus wards, which were fixed in the mid-season update. And for those interested, the 6 exotics that were included in the early reveal are Shards of Galanor, Stompies, the Mechanir Trick Sleeves, Celestial Nighthawk, and then Syntheseps and Karnstein Armlets. And so if you want to see the updated descriptions, you can simply check out any of those exotics in game or on Dim or something like that. But again, 2 things to keep in mind. Firstly, the changes aren't actually live in the game, so the descriptions don't reflect their current behavior. And secondly, as Bungie have said, this doesn't demonstrate the full scope of the changes that we will see in Season 23. So hopefully we'll get a little more info on that one soon. Bungie probably will talk about it in a bit more depth now that it's had that early reveal. But of course, for those kind of updates, we'll be keeping our eyes on the blog, and if we get any new info, I will be sure to keep you guys up to date. Next up though, moving away from updates this week, I thought it would be interesting to discuss a little bit about episodes, which is going to be the new sort of season style model for 2024. And now that we're past the midway point for Season of the Witch, of course players have done the majority of stuff in the game for the moment, and so naturally there is more discussion about the seasonal model, keeping players engaged, and the fact that this sort of second half of the season isn't going to have all that much stuff to do. And so the discussion I guess is whether the episodic cadence is going to change that up enough to keep players engaged for longer periods of time. We can see that each episode will run for around 4 months, so between March and June we'll get Echoes, between July and October it'll be Revenant, and November to the following February will be Heresy. But these episodes are sort of delivered in 6-week acts, so looking at Act 1 for Echoes, we'll get new exotic weapons and a new exotic mission, but it also lists new quests, story, activities, weapons, artifact mods, pass ranks and rewards, as well as new armor. And so that first phase will roll out over 6 weeks, but then looking at Act 2, we can see the icons indicate that we'll see more new quests, story, activities, as well as weapons, artifact mods, plus ranks and rewards. And this is where the episodes have the potential to change things up a little bit, at least over seasons that we have at the moment. Because the indication right there would be that Act 2, starting in the second 6 weeks of the episode, will not only see new quests and story, but interestingly, new activities is listed there as well. Normally, we get 1 or 2 activities per season, but looking at the episodes, it would suggest that additional activities in some form or another will roll out during each act of the episode. Plus, as we can see, even artifact mods and weapons are listed in the different acts. So I guess if we sort of imagine it as halfway through the season, new weapons being introduced as well as new activity content, but even sandbox perks in the form of artifact mods. And obviously, we don't typically see that with seasonal content, so when we look at Act 3, that also indicates that we'll get more of the same. And obviously, we can't preview what the quality of that content will be, but if we were in a world where, after the first 6 weeks of a season, say we get 3 or 4 new weapons that are pretty juicy, as well as a new activity to earn them from, it could potentially, if done very well, mix up the seasonal model significantly enough for the game to remain engaging for longer periods of time. So I would say the fact that new weapons, activities, quest content, and more are listed dropping every 6 weeks during the episodes is the biggest structural opportunity, at least, for Bungie to make seasonal types of content more interesting in the game. So I think it's certainly a neat discussion. Obviously, it's very much going to depend on how Bungie deliver that stuff, but I'd just be curious to get thoughts from you guys down below. Do you think this sort of episodic cadence and the way that Bungie have laid it out potentially could make mid-year content more interesting? I think if we are actually getting new activity, weapon, sandbox, and quest content delivered into the game every 6 weeks, that it has the potential to do that, but give us your thoughts about it down below, and I'll be sure to keep you posted when Bungie give us more info about episodes later down the road. A couple of things here that I wasn't able to cover last week as I was away from home, but Bungie have elaborated on the Sparrow speed update that we're going to see in Season 23. So they say we've heard feedback for a while that players who own Always on Time want to feel like they can safely swap to other Sparrows without sacrificing optimal performance. Therefore, in Season 23 we set a goal to help players feel more comfortable swapping off AOT by improving baseline exotic and legendary Sparrows, while letting Always on Time retain some unique functionality. So all legendary and exotic Sparrows will have 2 speed selection options moving forward, one that matches Always on Time and one that matches the older higher speed that was available. So upon login in Season 23, players in most cases will default to the fastest option immediately, and the speed on those Sparrows will update to 190. But on top of that, all legendary and exotic Sparrows will move from 100 to 150 health to be more durable to match AOT's health pool. So that's how it's going to work. There'll be basically a function to switch between the 2 speeds, but Sparrows will also get more health in the process of that update. And they've said also that Always on Time will continue to retain a few unique benefits, including slightly better fuel economy, slightly lowered enemy aggression, and better side-to-side boost. So I think that's a good update right there. There are so many Sparrows in the game, and for folks who already have Always on Time, it was a bit like swapping between a badly rolled legendary rocket launcher and Galahorn. There was pretty much no choice there, right? So that's positive, and it's cool to get more info on how it's going to work. Let us know down below which Sparrows you're most excited to run at full speed starting in Season 23. Another Season 23 update that's worth mentioning though, Bungie outlined weapons exiting the loot pool, so Buzzard will be going away in Season 23, as will the Swarm. Plus for Trials of Osiris, the Immortal will be the featured weapon this weekend for the final time, and Astral Horizon's final week will be on the 7th of November. So keep in mind those weapons will be going away, and as always, Bungie will probably start to reveal a couple of new weapons that'll come in for Season 23 in the coming weeks, so stay locked and loaded for that info. The very final thing I wanted to mention right here though, and Destiny Bulletin shared that hot swapping is back. And of course this is a weapon glitch that Bungie had attempted to fix a couple of times in some different ways, but appears to be possible in the game once again, as you can see on screen. And they said basically you need to shoot and grapple very quickly, then switch weapon and repeat, allowing weapons to swap much faster than intended, as we have seen in the past. So just keep in mind that is a thing that can once again be done in the game. For today though guys, that's everything we have to round up in this video, so I hope it's been a useful one as always, and if it has, a rating below helps us out no end. And I'd love to keep you posted on more content coming down the road, so feel free to hit that subscribe button or the bell icon so that you get notifications for new videos. Let us know what you're looking forward to in Season 23 in the comments section as well, but otherwise I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.